Welcome. I am Dr. J, and I would like to welcome you to my channel, Chat with Dr. J. Come on in, come right in. Hey, Shelley. Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. I just have some information that I wanted to share. Blessed day, love. Same to you. I received that. Blessed day to you as well, Shelley. Are you going live a little bit later today? Are you going live later today, Shelley? Shelley, do you know? Hadn't decided. Okay, you said yes, you are. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the information that I have to share with the sake of time. I got to go and get my hair shampooed in a little bit. But I'm bringing information from Senator Elizabeth Warren, whereas she accused President Trump, Elon Musk, and Secretary of Education Linda McMahon, three billionaires, she's saying, should not be allowed to destroy public education. Senator Elizabeth Warren strongly criticized effort by President Trump, Elon Musk, and Education Secretary Linda McMahon. Hello, welcome in, Z. Adams. Thank you for joining us. Just sharing information where Elizabeth Warren has accused President Trump, Elon Musk, and Linda McMahon she said they should not be allowed to destroy public education. So she has strongly criticized efforts by President Trump, Elon Musk, and Education Secretary Linda McMahon to dismantle the Department of Education. She warned that those changes that they are trying to make will harm the students, especially those students with disabilities or needing loan support. You all know that's all over the news now about the student loans. President Biden, in his administration, they forgave a lot of the students that had student loans. But as of right now, President Trump says no more. And you are expected to begin, those that did not get forgiven, they are expected to begin making repayments immediately. Okay, I agree with Elizabeth about them destroying education. They can't relate. Absolutely. Like I've said on a couple of my other lives, their children, theirs and those other billionaires, their children are tucked away nicely over in some private schools somewhere. But they are here making decisions for our K-12 students in the public education sector. So, of course, he's trying to, this will harm, as I was stating, students, especially those with disabilities or needing loan support, by eliminating those key services, civil rights protections, and oversight critical to public education. So that's her argument. She shared at a forum held by Ranking Member Murray. So what she did was she went before a forum and she had key people there that I would mention, key panelists there to help her drive her facts home. President Trump and Elon Musk are working together, she said, to abolish the Department of Education. This is an assault on public education, according to Warren. She's pretty much livid with this decision and the changes that they are trying to make as far as them wanting to dismantle the Department of Education. And she was saying that the cherry on top is that it's all part of a Republican plan to make hardworking Americans pay more so that billionaires can get even more tax breaks. And, many people out there that I come in contact with, and some of you all probably have too, they feel like that's what it's all about. He's doing this to help the billionaires. But on the flip side of him helping them, his billionaire buddies, it's hurting uh, ordinary, middle class, and poor people, the working people. That's who is having to pay the cost for him trying to cut tax or provide tax breaks for his billionaire friends. Trump and Musk, along with the education secretary, London McMahon, aren't crazy enough to say that directly to the American people. So it's not like they're going to, she was saying, come out and tell them that's what they are trying to do, because she knows that, or they know that those constituents will probably go ballistic on them. So they don't actually say this is what they're trying to do, because the American people really wouldn't like that. They wouldn't have it. Like I said, most of them would probably go ballistic if they knew that accusation or could prove that it was facts. So instead, what they've said that they can burn down an entire agency, which, while ensuring, quote, the effective and uninterrupted delivery of services. So what Senator Elizabeth Warren said she wants to test that claim. And she called it a spoiler alert. And she thinks it's a big fat lie. So she said, let's go into this. Let's start with Trump already firing. She drove that point in by saying, we're going to start with this, that he has already fired half of the staff at the Department of Education, including reportedly eliminating the team responsible for overseeing the student loan companies. Like I said, that has been pretty much the conversation for quite some time. Those people, of course, Biden and his administration, they had approved to forgive quite a few students that had student loans. But as soon as Trump took over office, he was like, no more. That's over with. If it didn't get forgiven under the Biden administration, too bad, so sad. It will not happen under my leadership. Welcome. Hey there, Tails. I've been to. Hey, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hey again. Seems like we just left each other. Good morning. She Inspires is showing love to the chat as well. Good morning. Thank you for stopping by as well. Just sharing information from Senator Elizabeth Warren accusing billionaires of pretty much destroying and burning down, attempting to demolish the Department of Education. So her first panelist that she called on, as I said earlier, she was at a forum and she had 3 or 4 different panelists there to help her drive her point home. So she asked this question to one of the panelists. She said, you were a student loan borrower for many years. You described this in your testimony. And Elizabeth asked, I want to ask you a question. And the question that she posed was, what would have happened? What would have happened? Make sure I have my question right. If the company that managed your loans had double charged you for a month, and there was no one at the Department of Education whose job it was to help you get this straight out. That was the question that she asked. Okay. Bintu, you said Tails. Here is 7:20 in Kenya. Okay. All right, 7:20. You all are going into the nighttime, and we're about midday here in the States. It's like 12:22 where I am, Bintu. Okay. Z Adams. But thank you for tuning in from over in Kenya. Data and information are being shared, but it seems that Trump supports are so his supporters are so brainwashed that they believe everything that comes out of his mouth. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're just gonna have to keep our brakes on and just hold tight and just see what the end will bring. But the first panelist, like I said earlier, Senator Warren involved those panel members to help drive her point home. As if, okay, you don't hear me, so I have my experts lined up. We are going to get it straight from the horse's mouth. So Ms. Burkhalter responded to that question that she had asked. That question again, what would have happened if the company that managed your loans had double charged you for a month and there was no one at the Department of Education whose job it is to help you get that straight out? So her response, Miss Tasha's response was, I would have stuck I would have been stuck in a terrible position to be responsible to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more than I already had more than I already was for that month. As if, that interest, I don't know if y'all had to take out student loans, but sometimes that interest is more, it seems like it triples sometimes of the amount of money that you actually borrow. But anyway, quoting what she said, I would not have been able to do a support well, she would not have been able to support her family and make the payment. So I would have had to either do one or the other. Okay, in my right hand, do I take my earnings from my job and make my student loan payment, or she looked at that left hand, or do I take this money and feed my family? So she said, I just would have had to not make a payment and watch my credit score deplete, because I definitely would have chose to take care of home versus being put in a position to pay that double payment. And there are several other people out there, I think, that would have made the exact same choice that she made. And after she shared what she would have done, and Senator Warren states, if there's nobody home to fix the mistakes, because we know that the mistakes are going to happen, we know mistakes are going to happen, then the person who's the victim of the error is the one who now pays. You either pay by paying double, or you pay by seeing your credit score being destroyed. You pay by falling further and further behind and the problem snowballing because you're not making your payments on time. And is that okay? Hold on for a minute. Let's see what Tails have been to. He said, if you get any information on sponsorship, scholarships, or easy ways to get visa approval and requirements of international students, please share. It would be a benefit. Okay, are you trying to come to the States? Tales have been to? Are you trying to come to the United States? Okay, I'll go on and then I'll look for your response there. She went on to say that the education department also helps support about 7 million public school students with disabilities all across the country. The work is very near and dear to her heart as a former special education teacher. How many of you, did you all realize, or did you know that Senator Elizabeth Warren was actually a former teacher, a special ed teacher to be exact? Was anybody aware of that? But she said her work is very near and dear to her heart as a former special education teacher, but President Donald Trump is trying to move that work over to the Department of Health and Human Services, led by John F. Kennedy. And I know that I have shared information about that in some of my previous lives. Oh yeah, God willing, this year. Okay, awesome. You got to keep us posted on that. Keep us posted. Tales of been to. And if anybody in the chat runs across any information, let me put that back up there where if you get any information on sponsorship, scholarships, or he says are easy ways to get visa approval and requirements for international students. So if anybody come across any information, if you share it with me, I'll make sure that Tales of Bentu receives that information. Okay, so that was information from Senator Warren's first panelist. The second panelist that she called on was Miss Wilcox. She said, which is an expert in special education policy. So the question that she posed to Mrs. Wilcox, like I said, to help her to prove her point. She asks, how would students be affected if HHS, and of course, HHS is the Department of Health and Human Services, how would they be affected if HHS takes over special education policy for the federal government? Okay, and according to Ms. Diane Wilcox, which is the Director of Education Advocacy, she said that it would be a total disaster to have the Individuals with Disability Education Act, which is referred to as IDEA, being overseen by Health and Human Services. And you know that's is being directed by John Kennedy. Okay, I read that one. You said yes, God willing, this year. And according to her, she said that they do not have the bandwidth, they do not have the expertise. Hey, Granny B. Hey, hello. However, I just wanted to check. Okay, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm just sharing updates that was just released this weekend. Elizabeth Warren is here at a forum. She has panelists there to help her prove her point, to help drive her points in that these three billionaires, which are President Trump, which is Elon Musk, and the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, they should not have the authority or the power to destroy public education, Granny B. And as I told you all, this would be information that I would keep my eye out for, and I bring it to you and try to share it as it becomes available. And she also said that someone mentioned to her that this would be the equivalent of going to your pediatrician and asking them to teach your child to read. That's what she equated President Trump in those, putting the Department of Special Education, turning that over to John F. Kennedy. She said that would be equivalent to going to the pediatrician, and asking them to teach the child how to read. They just don't have those qualifications. Okay, that was her response. And according to Warren, she responded, so again, effectively, and I'm quoting what Senator Warren said. So again, effectively, nobody home to do the work and not the people with the expertise to do the work. I want to do one more. She had one more point to drive her facts in. As if this is not bad enough, federal civil rights law says that all kids, not some, but all kids, no matter their race, no matter whether they have disabilities, all kids must be able to get a quality, not a piece of an education, not a skimpy, but a quality education in their public school. According to Senator Warren, but she said, but the Trump administration has fired nearly half the public school servants who are responsible for defending student civil rights and closed 7 of the 11 regional offices, including, I want to have the offices in Boston, Cleveland, and Dallas. So she's done 11 regional offices they have closed, including, I want to know, okay? Did we have anything over there? And you all know that I gave in one of my lives the exact numbers of the people that had been laid off. But the last articles or information that had been released, there are still 1,315 more jobs that must be cut. And like I said, with school getting ready to end next week, and the students are only out for 2 or 3 days, and then it's time to start back. So my question is, when will those other 1,315 people get the notification as to whether or not they will have a job for the 2025-2026 school year? Just a question that I had been pondering. And I had asked the question earlier. Did you all know that Elizabeth Warren is a former special education teacher? I did not know. I did not know. So it was exciting. That was some exciting news for me. And the third panelist that Elizabeth Warren called on to drive her facts in. Sorry about that. My phone wrong. Okay, so the third panelist that she called on to help drive her point home was Miss Ford. You are a nationally recognized student advocate. Okay, this is the question that she posed. How will students be affected by Trump's cuts to the Department of Civil Rights Enforcement? This is the final panelist. I think she was the final one that Senator Warren called on to help them see the facts that she was sharing. Denise Denise Ford, she's the CEO Education Trust. She stated that, I think you pointed out that the Office of Civil Rights has been a safeguard for students across the country, whether it's a student facing discrimination because of their hair, or whether it's a student with disabilities, or a student facing several harassments in the classroom. They are there for all students. The caseload that the Office of Civil Rights previously had was alarmingly high already. The gutting of this office, the firing of expert lawyers who've been doing this work for so long, it does a disservice to students and families across this country. Alongside of the politicization of that office, it is hard to understand how they will be able to carry out the work that they are lawfully and authorized to do. As if, in so many words, the manpower is not there. They don't have the manpower. Brenda B, did you get back in? They don't have the manpower to to carry out the duties and responsibilities of those positions. So Senator Warren responds to her last panelist. Like I said, she used those panelist people to help participants to help her drive her facts in. She said that, and I'm quoting this, I appreciate you putting it that way. This is not about efficiency, she said. It's not about making government more effectively. This is about just not doing the work. It's another way to try to repeal the laws that were put in place. See, did you say something there, Renee? Okay, I guess you did get back in. Say, how are you this afternoon? Okay, what did you, Granby? I guess you just typed that and put it there. I guess you were able to get back in. So in a nutshell, the information, hello, Dr. June, that I was trying to bring is that she was pretty much sharing, Senator Warren was pretty much sharing her dissatisfaction of the three billionaires, and she feels like that they should not have the power to come in, and we all know chances are 99.9% that none of their children have or is, or those grandchildren are not either, attending a public school setting, that they are, like I said, all tucked away somewhere in a private school somewhere, and they should not have the manpower or be allowed to come in and dismantle or make changes or destroy the or abolish the Department of Education. So that's pretty much the latest update that I have that's been out there. And the only fight that I've seen coming from anyone, from all of the research that I have done, has been this is it, Elizabeth Warren. She's been on top of it. Now, the rest of the House or the senators, they've been pretty quiet about it. But Senator Elizabeth Warren, has kind of like been on the front line fighting against, trying to file lawsuits and trying to put a stop to them being able to get away the Department of Education. Like I said, about a couple lives ago, I gave a breakdown of I don't have those notes, a breakdown of the layoffs that have already occurred, but there's still, according to what I read, there's still about 1,315 more positions that will take place. So, like I said, I don't know whether those cuts will take place by the fall. I don't know exactly where, as I say, the fat will be trimmed from. I don't know if he would start at the top with your superintendent and say, superintendent, okay, we won't need the superintendents. Or to say, okay, superintendents, if you are there, you won't need an assistant. I don't know. Will the cut come from there? I don't know. Since he's getting rid of the Department of Education, the special ed department from under the Department of Education, he's not turning that over to the state. All of that will be into the hands of John F. Kennedy. Will he send some special education some special education directors over there to assist him with this? Because I don't know, those of you that know about this education or know of someone with a child or someone with an IEP, that's a booger all by itself. So I just I don't think it's humanly possible for John F. Kennedy to be able to oversee that effectively and take care of the other diseases and all of those other things that President Trump, has put on his plate. So it's going to be quite interesting. So I don't know if he would get going back to the cut that has to take place with the Department of Education, that 1,315 more employees. I don't know whether he's going to take away some of those curriculum directors from the district level. We don't know whether those cuts will come from the district level. Will he go over to the schools and say, I'll get you next, Granby. Go to the schools and say, okay, principals, we don't need you anymore. Or principals, I expect you to run these schools. You don't need your assistants anymore. Are they going to trim the fat? Are they going to take away the counselors? Are they going to take away your academic coaches? Are they going to take away, some of your teachers, some of the federal programs that they have in the schools? We don't know. That has not been detailed out for us yet. Okay, Granny B. Granny B says they don't have money or manpower, but they can spend money to bring so-called refugees from South Africa. Okay. What about our folks? Okay, what about our folks and our children? I agree. I was on I was in somebody else's live this morning. Granny B, and she kind of said the same thing. And she supports Trump, but she said this thing she is not for. Okay, you remove all of the brown people. Granny B is what it was. Chick speaks on it. It was during her car chronicle. Now, you just said that the United States is in this hole, we're in this rut that we're in because of all the refugees and the immigrants that were over here. So you got to get on your planes and we're going to put you on Delta, Southwest, or whomever, and we're going to fly you back over, send you straight over to the prison over there. But all of a sudden, where's the money going to come from now to let these light-skinned people, or these white people, if you want to refer to them as that, now all of a sudden have money to be able to take care of them, to allow them into the country? So that's kind of double standard. And like you said, and that came out in discussion on her chat this morning too. What about our people that's here? We have people here that are without. We have children here, Granny B is what she said, that are doing without. Our homeless rates is too high for us to be the great quote unquote United States of America. So okay, President Trump, okay, it's not giving what it's supposed to be given. What am I missing? What am I missing? So that would have been, you would have thoroughly enjoyed, and she would have enjoyed having you in that chat as well, Granny B. Good point. Thank you for pointing that out. Um, and also Senator Warren, she asked what Donald Trump, she stated what Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Secretary McMahon, and she refers to them as the billionaires, all want to do is basically, she said, they just want to just take those rights away from our children, to take them away from us. Whoever gets hurt, it's just who is going to have to pick up the cost here. That's why we are in the fight to put a stop to this. Again, she is one. Well, she has been the only one that I've seen up there continuing to question, continuing to fight. Now she's here before this panel of folks, and you notice she had those three key people, those panelists up there to help you, as if the old folks say, get it straight from the horse's mouth. She had them to answer those questions in support of the facts that she's been trying to drive home. Again, she said that 3 billionaires, again, should not be permitted to destroy public education for millions of children across this country. And if something does not happen really, really soon, some decisions are not made. But I also read that these things can't happen without the approval or the vote from Congress. But the sad part about it, on the flip side of that, I mean, no one is saying anything. President Trump, the Republicans pretty much have the House and the Senate. So, I mean, if he says it, the way things have been going, pretty much, if he says it, pretty much that's what it is in a nutshell. That's what it has been. But again, she's standing firmly on that 3 billionaires should not be permitted to destroy public education for millions of children across the country. And she's standing firmly. Granny B, what you had to let's see what you had to say there. Give me 1 second. Folks and children, okay. And we are going to take care of them. Just trying to retreat Africans to, okay. You think he's trying to get those Africans to come into the MAGA party, the MAGA club? Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay, do y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay, Granny B, you are on it today. How can we thrive here with uneducated folks? Absolutely, Granny B, were you in that chat when I said we're going to either pay on the front end or we're going to pay on the back end? Meaning, we're going to either educate these babies, because the sooner we get them educated, it all starts, the foundation starts. K3, you're going to either educate them, get them reading by 3rd grade, or statistics say if they're not reading, chances are we're going to pay on the back end, meaning that we will be, you, I, me, anybody else who gets out and go on the job and look at that check stub. You have FICA, TICA, and all those acronyms coming out. We're going to be the ones that will actually pay. Hey, my girl, Queen Dree is in the house. Hey, you say, hey, Dr. J. Hi, Dr. J. Just stopping by to hit, thank you, the like button. And Queen Dree, you know how important that is. Hit that like button. I'm taking care of some business before work at 1. Okay, I hope you have a great day. Thank you. And the same to you. Hopefully you'll get a chance to go live from work today. I will be looking for you. I appreciate you stopping by and just sharing some information with this with what's going on in public education. Some of the things that these billionaires want to do, that he appointed. Linda McMahon, just sharing information. But I do thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by to check on me, Queen. Have a good evening. Have a good day at work, and hopefully I will see you, be able to tune in with you later. Um, so Granny B, I think we finished going through your questions. How can we strive? Like I said, we're either gonna pay on the front end, or we're gonna pay on the back end. We're either gonna pay to educate them to get them reading by third grade, as I stated, or if they can't read, chances are nobody's gonna hire them to work on jobs. So what are they gonna end up doing, Granny B? What are they? Okay, hold on, Granny. Okay. Queen, you said, yeah. Okay, I'm going. Okay, you're going live today. I'll talk to you later. Okay, all right. Thank you, sweetheart, for stopping by to check on me. I'll be looking out for your live a little bit later. So, Granny B, that's what I had mentioned. We're either going to pay to educate them, to get them ready so that somebody will hire them. According to, go back and check on your check to see what research says. If they're not reading by third grade, you might as well, sadly, go ahead and build them. Go ahead and claim them, reserve them one of those beds in a prison. Because if they can't read and write, you can't do math, who's going to hire them? I mean, you got to know how to count that money back at Publix, McDonald's, at the bank. I mean, it's not even up for discussion. We got to be ready. We have to be capable of doing the job. So if they're not ready, nobody's going to hire them. They're not going to be equipped to go out into these jobs. So they're going to end up probably stealing, robbing or whatever else is under that umbrella, and they will end up in somebody's prison. And guess what? We will still be working to pay taxes, to build more prisons, to take care of them. So my vote would be to go ahead and get them prepared, Granny B, in K through 2, to be able to one day go out and make it and survive in the community, so that they don't end up behind bars. So that's the latest update. It wasn't as exciting. It's the latest update though that's out there. Senator Elizabeth Warren is still fighting for us. And like I said earlier, those that didn't hear, I did not realize that her background was special ed. She was a special ed teacher. So she's kind of familiar with what the outcomes uh, might look like if President Trump decides to go through with his plans to turn everything over to the state. When I say everything, all of the different departments that the education department oversees, he's supposed to turn it over to the state, but he's going to turn every program over to the state except special education. And with her having that background, I guess that's why she can nail that so hard. She can foresee the problem or problems that's probably will come about from that mistake. But he does plan on not giving that to the state, but put it over in a department with HHA under John F. Kennedy. So might be a disaster waiting to happen, or I'm sure they are around the table, trying to iron out the kinks right now as we speak, so that it won't end up being a disaster. So that's pretty much all I have there. That is the information that I received as far as this. But what I'm really waiting to see is where those last 1,315 jobs that have not been cut yet, where is he going to trim that fat from? And I'm sure, I'm not in it anymore, but those people that are out there still in it, can you imagine? I'm sure that they're walking around on eggshells as well, not knowing, okay, will I get a call, from the superintendent? School lets out next week. Teachers should be out of school by the 1st of June after Memorial Day. Am I going to receive a call? Even, I mean, no one is safe. No one is safe until you find out where those 1,315 jobs will be cut from. Will it be from the classrooms? Will they, release some of the teachers? And if so, that's gonna cause problems too, because guess what? The teachers will be back to having what, 30, 35, up to probably 40 students in a classroom. And of course, you already know there's a teacher shortage. That's probably going to make it even shorter, if that happens. I don't know, but like I said, I pretty much search and I watch every day. So I was really happy when this was released, because I don't think I have not come across anything as far as this dismantling of the Department of Education since back in, I think maybe around the second week of April. I think that's when I shared the last information, but I haven't seen anything since then. But of course, I'll keep watching. That's going to have to come out really, really soon, where those jobs are going to be cut from. So that's pretty much all that I have. That's the information that I wanted to share today. Just to essay, if you're not in here, hopefully you will get a chance. I know you watch this very closely too. Hopefully you will get a chance to go back and catch that replay. But this is all that has been put out there so far. This is the updated information, and it's all from Senator Elizabeth Warren. What the other party members are saying, they have been not saying a whole lot. They've been kind of on the quiet side. So hopefully soon, really soon, somebody else, will join forces with her and start to answer questions. But it doesn't look like I don't think she needs much help. She's doing a pretty good job, at getting her point across. But her ultimate question is, I just don't think it's fair. Why are these three billionaires? She didn't say one. She didn't say Trump, President Trump himself. She didn't say one. She said three. How did she end up with those three? I don't know how Elon got pulled into this equation, but he made the headlines with the two. She didn't sugarcoat it. She said three billionaires. She didn't say Trump, President Trump, and the Secretary of Education. Like I said, I don't know how Elon got in the middle, but he's in the middle. He made headlines too. The $1 million question is, why should three billionaires be able to destroy public education for our students? That was her question. So I didn't see any type rebuttal or any response to it. And like I said, I liked the way she presented it. She came with facts. She had experts there as panelists during this forum to support the information that she was sharing. That's all the information that I have for you on this. And as soon as more is released, I will do my best to try to interpret it and get it out here to you. It just seems like so much with so many uncertainties, and it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. So I try to, from time to time, I have to, continue to dig and research and try to get my understanding of it. It's kind of difficult to kind of wrap my brains around it from time to time, but we do our best at trying to get it out here to you. But the thing, we say so much to say a little, but the only thing, I just be honest, that I want to know is that who will be affected next. That 1,315 is what scares me. That's what concerns me the most. And I think out of fairness to these educators, they need to be notified like ASAP. Will I be in the unemployment line? Will I have to go and try to get me some unemployment, disability? They need to know. And guess what? I want to know. You can't wait to the last minute. School starts back in about what, 2 months? I mean, when are they going to know? And my question, will they have to know now? Will this take place? I think I've asked this question in a couple of the other lives that I reported on concerning dismantle of the Department of Education. Will it even happen? Will it even take place this school term? Will it take place fall of 2025, or is this something that would take place 2026, 2027? We don't know when. That information has not been released. So, all of that, all of it is on the table. But guess what? I'm here for it. I'm waiting. That's what I want to know more so than anything. All that other stuff, I'm like, oh well, he's our president and he has the right to make these type decisions. So he is our chosen president. So he has the right to make the decisions. He is the president for the next 4 years. So, and then this is nothing new. So he's not doing, and I want to add that he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. These things are no surprises. This is one of the things with the Project 2025 that he ran on as he was seeking election. So it's no surprise. These are things that he said. This is one of the things that he told us before voting time, November 5th, 2025, that it was going to happen. So he's just making good. He's just making good on his promises. So we just have to put on our belt, put on our straps, and just, be big boys and girls and just accept it and try to make the best of it. So that's all I have to say about it, I think. And like I said, hopefully the next set of information or the next articles that will be released will have that information in it, or something saying that the people that are a part of that 1,315 layoff that he has assured us will come hopefully by the next release or the next interview or the next press conference. That information would have been released. Hopefully it will be out within the next few weeks, since, like I said, school is getting ready to let out for the summer. But that's all that I have for you on this Taking Off Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this live for today. Hopefully you all will find some of that information beneficial to you. So as I bring this live to a close, I want to thank those of you that stopped by to check on me, stop by to visit me here on my channel, Chat with Dr. J. I just want to say thank you again for stopping by. Hopefully you have had a terrific Tuesday. Continue to have a terrific Tuesday. If your day has not been a terrific Tuesday, hopefully by the time you lay your head down tonight on your pillow, it will be a terrific Tuesday. So that's all I have to share. So until next time, please have a blessed day. I'm trying to see. I think I got all of those, I think. Okay, that was Queen Tree. I think she was the last one. So that's all I have. That's all I have to share for now. So I'm going to say goodbye. Have a blessed one, and we shall chat later. Bye for now.